In May 2025, engineers in China needed to build 3 electricity transmission towers in Yunnan Province. The towers were in the mountains. The mountains had no road. The terrain was karst limestone steep cliffs, crumbling edges, and protected rainforest below. The area also sat inside an elephant migration corridor, which meant cutting a road through the land wasn't just difficult, it was forbidden. A month of work with horses and cable systems would normally be the only option. Instead, China sent 16 drones. 3 days later, 180 tons of steel and concrete had been delivered to the mountain-build sites, with precision, without a single road being cut and without a single tree being felled. Chinese state media reported that workers monitored the operation from control stations below while, in their words, reclining in lounge chairs. The mountain had stopped being a barrier. It had become a set of coordinates. Before this technology existed, the first rule of construction in difficult terrain was simple. Before you build anything, you build a road. Mountains, gorges, remote valleys, protected forests, all of them required the same first step: carve access, build staging areas, move fuel and machinery to the base, set up a cableway system or a temporary track. That process could take weeks before a single structural component went anywhere near its final position. It was also expensive, environmentally damaging, and dangerous. Workers carrying heavy materials up steep slopes over unstable ground were responsible for a significant proportion of construction injuries in remote projects. The road wasn't just a logistical inconvenience. It was the real cost in time, money, ecological damage, and human risk of building anything far from flat ground. China's drone industry identified that specific problem and built machines specifically designed to attack it. These are not delivery drones scaled up. They are purpose-built industrial machines designed from the ground up for construction logistics in terrain where everything else fails. The Skytech S400 was developed specifically for China's State Grid Corporation, the organization responsible for maintaining and expanding the country's power transmission network across some of the most difficult terrain on Earth. The S400 has a 4-meter fuselage, 8 rotational axes, 16 propellers, and a payload capacity of 200 kilograms. It was engineered not for speed, but for stability in mountain wind conditions where a payload swinging, even slightly, could mean the difference between a precise placement and a dangerous drop. The DJI Flycart 100 takes a different approach. It carries loads using a winch system that lowers material with controlled stability, allowing the drone to hover above a tower foundation and place components without landing at all. That winch detail is more significant than it sounds. A normal delivery drone moves something from one flat surface to another. A construction drone has to bring a heavy load to a precise point, hold position in variable wind, lower the load without swinging, and release it cleanly. The Flycart's winch turns the drone into an aerial crane, one that doesn't need a road to get there and doesn't need a flat surface to operate from. And in December 2025, China's aviation giant AVIC unveiled the Jushin, a fixed-wing heavy-lift UAV with a 25-meter wingspan, a maximum takeoff weight of 16 tons, a payload capacity of 6,000 kilograms, and a range of 7,000 kilometers. That is not a construction drone. That is an airborne logistics platform. It can carry the equivalent of a small truck's load across the country and be back before the end of the working day. The Yunnan operation was the project that the world saw, but it was not the only one, and it was not even the largest. Across a separate solar power grid connection project in the same region, 16 drones operated by China Southern Power Grid moved 2,000 tons of materials in total, enough for 52 transmission towers along a 22-kilometer stretch of mountain terrain. The project cut road building costs by 80% and reduced the labor required by 60%. In a parallel operation on the China-Laos border power line, a combined fleet of more than 30 drones and helicopters airlifted 5,000 tons of tower materials through rainforest that would have otherwise required access roads capable of destroying 7 hectares of protected land and more than 3,000 individual trees. The forest was preserved entirely because the materials flew over it instead of cutting through it. Then, in November 2025, Engineers in Chongqing used a single heavy-lift drone to deliver all the steel components for a 40-meter transmission tower in just over 2 hours, a delivery that had previously required 3 full days of mule transport up the same mountain. And just 6 days ago, in June 2026, China deployed its most powerful dual drone team for the first time in Chang'd 2 drones operating in coordination, carrying combined loads of over 650 kilograms in mountainous terrain, equipped with reusable batteries designed to run continuous operations around the clock. The competitor's version of this story focuses on the viral moment, the footage of drones rising into the sky carrying steel. That footage is genuinely impressive. But the deeper story is what these operations replace. In Yunnan, the drones replaced a month of ground preparation and eliminated the need for any access infrastructure at all. In Chongqing, the drones turned a 3-day materials delivery into a 2-hour one. On the China-Laos line, they removed the decision entirely. Engineers never had to choose between building the power line and destroying the rainforest. They did both. The drone doesn't just make construction faster. It removes the first constraint that determines whether a project is even feasible. Once the materials can fly to the site, mountains, forests, rivers, and protected corridors stop being limitations and start being irrelevant. That is the real shift, and it has almost nothing to do with the drone itself. It has everything to do with what the drone removes from the calculation. Here is the part of this story that most people don't know. The United States was not late to this technology. America had a heavy-lift autonomous aircraft that worked in exactly this kind of mission profile years before China's construction drones became famous. The common K-MAX, a heavy-lift helicopter with intermeshing rotors, was converted into an unmanned system and deployed by the U.S. Marine Corps in Afghanistan, carrying supplies to remote outposts in terrain where sending ground vehicles was too dangerous. It proved that autonomous heavy lift to remote mountain locations worked. Then, nothing happened. The K-MAX never transitioned into civilian construction infrastructure. It was too expensive to scale, too complicated to maintain commercially, and production ended after only a small number were built. America had the proof. It never built the market. China built the market first, and then kept building. The technology gap between the US and China on heavy construction drones is real, but manageable. American companies have competitive hardware in development. The harder gap is regulatory. In the United States, operating a heavy drone beyond visual line of sight requires approvals that can take months or years to obtain. Larger platforms don't fit cleanly into standard commercial drone rules, which were written for small recreational and photography use cases, not 200-kilogram industrial lift machines. In China, drone airspace is being treated as infrastructure from the start. Shenzhen is already building drone logistics corridors into city planning. Industrial zones are designing physical spaces for drone operations the way older cities planned for roads and parking. The signal to manufacturers is clear: build at scale, because the system is being built to accommodate you. A Chinese drone company with a working machine can deploy it on real construction projects this month. An American company with an equivalent machine may spend that same month in regulatory review, looking for a site where the operation is permitted, searching for insurance coverage that covers the risk, and waiting for a customer prepared to accept the liability. The machine is only one part of the race. The airspace around it may be the harder part to win. For the entire history of construction, the road came first, before the bridge, before the tower, before the building the road. It was the first constraint and the last thing removed. China's drone operations in Yunnan didn't just move material faster. They removed the road from the sequence entirely. The mountain got its towers. The forest kept its trees. The elephant corridor stayed intact. And the workers monitored it all from below while the machines flew the weight upward, flight by flight, into a mountain that had already decided it didn't matter anymore. If you made it this far, you now understand why China's construction drones are not just about the footage, they're about removing the first rule of construction that has held for the entire history of the industry. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're covering every development in this space as it happens. Now I want to know, Do you think America can close this gap? Or has China already built too much of a head start in the market, the machines, and the airspace? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one.